This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on, Angie Mcmillin of Angie's Pawsitive Pet Services. How you doing today, Angie? Welcome to the show.
I'm good, Jeff. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. The audience doesn't know this, but now they will know this because I like to own my shit, Angie. I was late, so thank you for understanding and your patience. Might as well start off with a bang. Yeah, she's like, let's get to it.
I wasn't counting. I needed the extra minute, so it was okay.
Perfect. He gave you all that time to have a better background than me, better dress, better hair. You even have an animal in there. Damn it, Angie, we are not airing this podcast.
Oh boy, yeah, edit it.
Let's start off with your business. What is Angie's Pawsitive Pet Service? Tell us about it.
Good question, Jeff. What are we? We are what I like to call, it sounds a little, extreme, but I consider it a prestigious pet services, or we are prestigious pet services. I try to go as a motto above and beyond. Like a lot of companies will say we go above and beyond, but I really do feel like I treat people's pets as if they were mine. And I know a lot of people say that, but I really do. Like I lose sleep over people's pets over here. I'm like, oh, I wonder what Tony's doing right now. If he's feeling better from his bellyache, from our walk, So I really try to treat it as a prestigious pet services, whether that's dog walking. I'm a certified professional dog walker. There's not really like a governing person to say you're a dog walker, but I tried to take, extra courses. We offer pet taxi, prestigious dog boarding. So I just try to give it that extra wham.
We like the extra whams in our world. So let's go over those whams. So you said, love the word prestigious. It's a fantastic word. That is earned. Love it. Okay. So we got dog walking. Did you say dog taxi? What the heck is the dog taxi?
Yeah. Well, dog walking, I do, like pee breaks. So it's all broken down by time. So I do a lot of retirement homes. So I go in and I do pee break visits or walks that I convert the time into anything that the client needs. So say if it's 30 minutes at a retirement home, I go in, feed the dog certain medications, change a pee pad if necessary, feed the water bowl or fill the water bowl, do the food. So I try to make it for retirement homes specifically so that client is able to keep their pet while they're in that home, whether it's mobility issues or anything of that nature. So the dog walking, I can convert the time to whatever the client needs. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm walking your dog and that is all I do. It is what I do. And I walk a lot of kilometers a day, but I try to gear it more to each client. If it's a senior, if it's a puppy. So that's what dog walking for me is. And then I do pet taxi. So I wish there was more hours in a day for this because I get a lot of requests. So say if it's somebody who has mobility issues or they just broke their foot and they can't drive, but they have a vet appointment, I can pick up their dog from their house, drive the dog to the vet appointment, go do a couple of my walks, come back, pick the dog up. Or sometimes I stay with the dog at the vet as well if it's like a procedure and the client prefers me to stay with. So that's a service that I offer. I also do the pet taxi to and from my boarding. So say you live in, I don't know where you live, Midhurst, for example.
Yep.
If it is convenient and I'm able to do it time-wise, I can pick up your dog and bring it to my place instead of you driving from A to B. So it's kind of like a taxi service for dogs as well. And what else? My boarding, prestigious in-home dog boarding. So I'm just past Aurelia. And I have like a custom.
In what direction?
Like north of Aurelia. So like past, I give my address to people who do meet and greets. So it's exclusive. It's not just like out there. But yeah, I'm past Aurelia. So I'd say if you're around RVH and Barrie, I'm 20 minutes from there.
Okay.
So I have a custom dog hotel is what I like to call it. They each have their own individual rooms, pot lights, the TV, you know, you set the pot lights for the mood.
Really?
Spa music. Yeah, I want it to be like, I have the structure of a boarding place. Like I have rules in place and I'm very routine structured. Like safety is a big thing. Obviously, it's people's children, but I kind of want to make it seem, again, with the prestigious aspect, like it's more than just, you know, dropping your dog off at another place. So I want them to feel like they're at home. Their room is dedicated to them during their stay. You could bring your own dog beds, like we were talking about Frenchies earlier. So say you got a really cute Frenchie, he has his big bed or he has a crate that he's comfortable with. You can bring it all with you, and the room is set up for that dog. And the room is only used when I'm out doing errands or when I'm out during the day to do my walks. And then when I'm home, they're with us in the rest of the house as if they were our dogs. We had to upgrade to a king size bed finally. And the dogs, like, they sleep with me. So they're like my babies. Even if I just met you and you do a meet and greet, if your dog comes like a week later and they're well behaved and such, like, I'm like, come on.
They're snuggling with you.
Snuggle. Yeah, I want it. And I want it to feel like that. Like you just drop them off at your friend's place that you've trusted for 20 years. And I want them to feel like that when they come here. Even though you may have just met me.
So is this your place? Or
this is my place. Yep.
Yeah.
This is my place. So I started, I don't know how off track I can go with your question, but I started my business 5 years ago in Barrie. I live South End Barrie, Young and Madeline area. And it was just dog walking, pet taxi, etc. And then 3 years ago, we moved here. So I had bigger space, bigger opportunity to finally do my boarding. So that's how we started the boarding after the fact. So I have more room, like fully fenced in yard, etc. So that's how the boarding became about 3 years ago.
And has it been Angie's Pawsitive Pet Service the entire time?
It's been Angie's Pawsitive. Sorry. Yep. The whole time. I just kind of did a little, not like a rebrand, but when I added the boarding, I don't know, maybe I'll show you. I did it.
Ooh.
Angie's Pawsitive boarding and walking with the prestigious pet services. And this is my angel Digger. You know how you always have like a heart dog that just steals your soul?
Yes, that was my pug. Yeah.
So Digger was my heart dog, and I had a lady put him on here as part of my, like, you know, like the roof for the boarding. So I kind of did like a little, I don't know if you call it a rebrand, a little like addition.
Yeah.
So
you just buffed it up a little bit. As you said earlier, you gave it a little wham.
Wham.
Thank you. What was the dog's name?
Digger.
And you said was. So it was Digger.
Was. Yeah, we actually got him from the SPCA in Barrie. I saw him on Facebook like 8 years ago. And I'm like,
SPCA Rescue?
Yeah, the Barrie SPCA Facebook page, actually. And his face popped up. He's a coon hound dog with the long droopy ears. And I said to my partner, Sean, I'm like, this is the dog. And he's like,
that's my guy.
Like, we have a dog. I'm like, what? Like, why is it just one dog? Like, we have lots of room.
Yeah.
So right away, called them, said, tomorrow morning I'm coming right when you open. I'll pay the deposit 2 times over. Don't get rid of the dog until I see the dog. And they're like, yeah, okay. So I saw him, and 2 days later, we got him home. That's it. And he was a heart dog, like the best dog ever. And oddly enough, his original owner had health issues, etc. But she saw the OSPCA adoption appreciation post that they do once in a while, you know, if the adoption turns out great. And the original owner that had him for the first half of his life reached out, and she was so worried, like, who would get him, etc. And she showed me pictures of his puppy stages. He was like Niagara Falls' #1 hunting dog with all these like awards. I'm like, no wonder he loves sleeping in a bed so much. He's used to like trucking through mud. That's why he doesn't get out of bed in the morning. So anyways, that's how that happened. And he was the best dog. I've had great dogs, Diesel and Riley, and we have Missy now. But, you know, there's always one dog that just yanks it.
Oh yeah. And what is
Oh.
Missy?
So Missy, part of my retirement home clients, I worked with Missy for 4 years doing pee break visits, food, etc., taking her to and from her vet appointments. And my client unfortunately passed away last July. And before she passed, she wasn't sure what was going to happen with the dog. She's 14-year-old Chihuahua. I was close with the family. And I said, hello.
I'm here.
Yeah. And
I
honestly,
like dogs.
I think that was a relief, that because she already knew me. I've worked with the dog for a long time. She's 14 and the family has been amazing. We still keep in contact. But she's like my little, we call her Queen. My little queen. Yeah. So she's part of the family since last year and she's 15 now, still going strong.
Damn.
Puts the dogs in the place. Like Cane Corso will board here, 180 pounds. And she's like, try me.
I love it.
That's why we call her the Queen. Yeah.
That's this small, human, small dog complex. King Corso, huge, lovely dogs, but certainly intimidating, like used to hunt bears or something.
Yes.
They're big. And then this little,
Chihuahua.
what did you say she was? A Chihuahua?
All it takes is one bark. Like a golden retriever will come here and they'll be like all up in her face. And she does like one old lady bark. It's like the dog is like
one old lady bark.
Yeah, it's like an old lady bark, like get the breath and all. And the dog is like either scared of the breath or, but no BS.
So we got you, we got Sean, and we got Missy. Those are the full timers. And then you will often have a house.
Sean has his own job. He just gets, the list that I give him to do stuff is long.
You said he has his own job? Is that what you said?
Yes, he has his own full-time gig. This is my full-time gig, but we've been together. Actually, we just had our anniversary on Saturday, 15 years together.
Holy sugar. You guys married?
Not like
years.
Officially.
You look like you're 29. How does this work, Angie? Let's do the math real quick.
Jeff, I knew I liked you when I met you like 4 seconds ago, but
what can I say, people?
But yeah, we just had, and people can't believe it either. Like, I guess started young, but we have 15 years.
Were you guys like high school sweethearts?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
If you're not 28, then you're like 31 or 32. I won't keep guessing, but
there's
no way you're near 40. Okay.
No, we never tell our age.
Yeah, right. Okay, so high school sweethearts.
But they check the ID. If you want to go buy like a bottle of wine or something, I get ID'd, and I think they upped it to like 30 now. They check, and every time I'm like, "What do you mean you're not going to ask me for my ID?"
Yeah. You sure you don't want this?
If I come in and like dog drool and I got my hat on and things are a hot mess over here, I'm like, please ID me. Like, what are you saying?
like, no, ma'am, it's okay today.
I'm like, please do it. Yeah.
So no kids. Your pups are your kids.
Dogs are the children. Yeah, we've always had 2 big dogs. We had Riley, who was a yellow lab. He ended up getting eye cancer, so he was only 3 years old. We had to let him go, unfortunately. And then we had Diesel, how do you explain Diesel? He was a Bernese Mountain Dog mixed with chocolate lab, and he was a total angel / handful. Love him to death, but he gave us a run for our love. Love him. And then we had Digger that overlapped with Diesel. And and then now we have Missy. Missy is the only one right now.
So okay. So
wait, do you have a dog?
No, I lost my 2 pugs. Unfortunately, I'm still, it was like 4 years ago, but I was about to say, I'm not kidding you when I say this. I'm not, but I'm preaching to the choir here. I know you know this. They changed me as a human being. I mean, I'm 37 now. I got Lexi. I grew up with cats. They're all right. They're not like dogs. They didn't care about me. They'll get the odd snuggle. But my pugs love people, right? So I had Lexi, and she would have been 17 now. So I got her at 20, and she just made me a better human, period. made me more caring. First time I ever had something that was dependent on me. I don't have children.
Right.
She softened me up. I had this hardened exterior, which I was purposely trying to build because, man stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Totally turned me into this big, softy, sensitive.
Aww.
Like, she made me a better human. But she survived 13 years. So she's been gone for about 4. Yeah. She was an old grade, like queen, like you're saying, like your Chihuahua. She hung in there, lost all of her teeth. And then it was time. And we got her a little buddy about 1.5 years in named Finnegan. And he walked sideways. His eyes were like this.
Oh, those are
the weirdest looking pugs.
I love
Super
it.
adorable. Peed on everything. Lexi was a dream, though. I mean, I used to carry. I was so anal. I had a car that I really, really loved with leather seats, black everything, and they shed. So I would put her in a laundry hamper with a basket with a blanket.
Stop it.
So you'd see me walking out of my house with a laundry hamper with 2 pugs in it.
Oh my God.
And then I would stick her in my sweater. So she'd have her head right here and her paws walking around the mall. Yeah, it's a great way to get a date. I'll tell you that.
Hey, you're talking to the wrong girl. Ask Sean. I would be all over. Like, you could have any other guy, business suit, like all print. No. Guy with a dog in his sweater all day, every day.
I know. It was amazing. It was amazing. So no. And now I'm looking at Frenchies, and I got a couple down the street here. I do my little morning walk and make sure I walk at the same time as they do, because there's 3 of them from one family, and one is like what was one 13 weeks, so he's like this big. And preaching to the choir, dogs are just amazing. No pets right now, but soon to be. So I just wanted to go over a few things to highlight for the audience that's listening right now. Like, what problems do we solve? So you will go to a person's house to walk, feed, medication if necessary. Like, just be with the dog. Like, you're like literally a PSW for dogs. So if I'm like, listen, Angie, I am back to back for the next 5 hours. I cannot pay attention to this dog right now, and that's heartbreaking. Can you just come here and be with them, walk them, do all that stuff? You will do that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, clients that I meet with have all different ranges of needs. Sure. So dog walking is so general and it's so vague, like, or at least I think so. When I originally heard of dog walking, one of like the big things is like, well, like, I think this is part of the thing later, but it's like we just hang out with puppies all day,
Not exactly.
Butterflies, rainbows, but no, like dog walking, at least for me, is very broad, and you can do different things with the time that you have. So if it's, say, 30-minute, 45, 60-minute visit, if you're in a condo, those take longer. Like, say you're work from home, you're in your condo right now, you don't have time to take 30 minutes out, go down the elevator, go across Lakeshore and Barrie to find one little piece of grass.
Right.
That's
it can be a bitch.
Or like a light post or whatever. Yeah. And it takes time, and it's just time spending with them. They get outside, they get to do their business, they have that interaction, even if you're not home. Like, clients, especially before, you're home or you're not home. So it varies on things, but yes, it can be adjusted based on the dog. There's lots of clients, especially in the retirement homes that I go to, I get such good relationships with the clients that I'm coming in, I'm like, to the owners, I'm like, did you drink water today? I'm like, I'm filling the dog's water, and I'm like, no, I see that water bottle. I opened it for you yesterday. Okay, girl, like, drink up, get that insure. I open the insure, like, so I'm not just, I try to not just be, there. I'm there for the dog. The dog is my client, but the owner is also my client too. Sure. So I build relationships with the clients that I have. And especially during the pandemic, like, dog walker, but I was also like the LCBO pickup extraordinaire.
Sure.
You get the people in the retirement home who are like, I'm not going out. I'm like, what do you want, John? You want some stuff? Okay, cool. You want the dollar store? I'll hook you up. What do you need? You need the candies? I got you. So it's like dog walker, it can be molded to other things, like things that I do in 30 minutes. I come in, I come out, you get the boots on. If it's wintertime, you get the raincoat on, then you got to dry them off. Then I always check the water bowls. I check, make sure the doors are locked 6 times because my brain, I can't walk away from your door unless I check. So yeah, you just mold it how you see fit based on the client.
And then, so I love that. And then I really like this. So it's like, again, working back-to-back videos, back-to-back meetings. Angie, can you just come pick up my dog and take them to the vet? It may be a 3-hour thing. Is that a thing?
No.
No? Oh, I thought that was the taxi part.
It is, but I need notice, Jeff.
Right. Okay.
Notice.
Yeah.
If you're like in the day and you're, it's like 8 a.m. and you're like, there's no way I can make it to my appointment by 11. You can call me and I can be like, and I could possibly move some things around to be able to accommodate. But in terms of the pet taxi service, the more notice, the better. Because I have such regular clients during the days, like for visits, like some that I've been doing for my full 5 years of business. Luckily, I can still have them as a client. So I am booked to a degree. So more notice on things, the better, especially for pet taxi, because it's time consuming, like depending on where you live, if your vet is here and you're here, sure. I don't know, Barrie traffic these days.
Oh, yeah. But that's something you can do. If I'm like, I need my dog at this. I mean, vets are normally scheduled anyway. It's very, it's not like you can call up a vet and get in there in 10 minutes, like a doctor's appointment. No. But Angie, I got my vet appointment coming up. She's got her teeth or her eyes. Like my pug had eye problems typically. Right. So you could do that. So you'd pick up the dog and then you'd go be with her at the vet, make sure she's taken care of and bring her back.
Right.
Beautiful. Exactly. And then if I'm going away, like right now, I'm leaving camp for, we're going up into the bush on Friday. So we're gone for 5-6 days, do a little camping. I can bring my dog to you.
Yes. So how that would work would be, say, about your camping trip and it doesn't always have to be lots of notice. Like there is times where I have people that say, hey, are you available this weekend? Do you have a spot for a dog? If I know you already, because I have a process. So if you're a new client, Jeff, you have your dogs, you call me, however you call me, Facebook, Instagram, website, phone, however, I'll book a meet and greet with you. So instead of for dog walking, I come to your home to check it out, you would come to me. So you'd bring your dog to me, you'd check out my place, I'd go over all the details with you. I have paperwork for you to fill out, emergency contacts, like it's a stack. It's a lot of homework for you to fill out. But I take it seriously. I need to know. I have people that go into the bush, no service. Like if you're in the bush doing what you're doing and there's no service that I can't get a hold of you, I need options of who I can call. I need to know, all the things. So I have steps like the meet and greet. And then I would provide you like a quote or an invoice for your dates that you require. If it's 5 days that you're gone, I would sort out pickup drop-off times. And I would get that all done in advance. So then by the time your dog comes again, one, he's already been here before for the meet and greet, so they're way more comfortable and stuff like that. But if it is like a last minute thing, I can accommodate that too. Sometimes I do stuff like this, like a FaceTime. But I really, for boarding, I really like to meet the dog first because I do like an assessment on the dog, especially because I have my own. I need to make sure they all get along.
And then so food, I would bring you the food, the medication, the whatever.
Yeah, I have clients, like let's just
that are very particular, probably.
Very particular. These dogs eat better than me. I mean, mind you, I'm vegan. So like some clients I have raw, like, they're raw. They've got like the chicken feet, and the eggs, which, hey, I don't judge. You do whatever you want to do. You feed them whatever you want to feed. I'm not here to tell you what not to do. So they'll come with like the big cooler of raw stuff for their stay, and I'll weigh it out. Like I do it. Damn. If you have a raw diet, I know a lot of people ask actually about the feeding. Like, that's a good question. Do I bring my own food? Do you supply the food? do? What if it's raw? Can you accommodate a dog on a raw diet? So say you're going away for 10 days. A lot of people don't have the freezer space to store a golden retriever who's 100 pounds on a raw diet. Do you know how much freezer space you need for a raw diet? It's a lot.
Yeah,
And
sounds like me.
yeah,
That's how I eat. Like a caveman. Yeah, it's a lot of space, big time.
You need a lot of space. So I actually had to accommodate for that early on. We went to, Costco and got a humongous stand-up freezer and put it downstairs. And I saved room for it specifically for my raw food clients. It's a lot of storage, but it's a lot of prep too. You got to take it out. You got to unthaw the quail eggs, the herring bone oil, the little sprinkles on top.
Well, it's good that you go the extra mile, because it's so important for people. As we've said a number of times, we are so particular about our animals, and love the heck out of those animals, whether you want to spoil them, whatever your philosophy is, just treat them well. So if I come to you and I'm like, listen, my dog was diabetic and I didn't feed her correctly and she gained some weight, and now Raw has got her healthy, oilier coat. She's happy. She's good. She lost the weight. Please give her these meals for twice a day while I'm gone for 10 days. You'll do it.
Oh yeah. I try to accommodate stuff like that for sure. Like people have medications that they give. Like I have dogs that are on, say, like seizure. Sorry, I can never say that. Seizure medications, and it's very time specific, right? Like say 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. or whatever. So I really try to accommodate for needs like that. I've even had dogs early on board here that, have to sit in that special chair. Forgive me for not remembering the word, where they need to be upright after they eat for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I've tried to accommodate whatever needs those specific dogs have. Senior dogs, puppies, it gets a little trickier with the puppies, but
I'm sure.
But yes, I do try to accommodate based on individual dogs' needs, which is better because I only board 3 dogs max.
That was going to be my next question. Like, you have 25.
How did I know? I knew you were going there. But yes, I do 3 dog max, and that regardless if I had space for 20 or 10 or 4 or 1, I only do. And it's honestly very rare that I do that many, even because I consider it more of a home environment. I know there's people that do lots of dogs, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just me personally, I like sanity, like my own sanity. Sean loves his sanity. We both love our sanity together. Sanity, you know what I'm saying?
You got your individuals each, and then you're together with sanity.
All
and
the
dog
sanity.
Yes.
And the dogs are
sanity.
Lots of sanities going on and to keep up with here. But the dogs feel it too. Like I always say this, you get one dog. So say you have a retriever. They're not allowed on the bed. They're not allowed on the furniture. People have different rules in their house, right? And then I got another dog that comes and they're like, hey,
give me that bed.
I can go on the bed, but you can't. So and that's another bonus to having the specific rooms that I do. And, I accommodate, some are puppy trained, so they have to be in a crate at night to consist or to go along with the rules that they have in place already. Because I don't want them to come here and then, they get a free for all and then they go back home and they're, crate trained because they're so young and then they forget all their rules.
Yeah,
so
it's like the cool aunt that I go over to break all the rules with, come back to mom and she's like, what happened, cool aunt?
What happened?
Why did he suck again?
Yes. So I really try, and it's in my paperwork too, like what are you allowed, what are they not allowed, like all that type of stuff. So I find having a lower quantity, it sounds cheesy, provides way higher quality in my opinion. Yeah. So I just, and lots of dogs do different things. I have dogs that they speak different languages. So like Portuguese, they gave me like a list of commands in Portuguese, which I love. I'm like, I'll learn this Portuguese, like, sure. And I mean, not everybody's like that, but it's, when you say sit and the dog doesn't know sit until you say it in Portuguese, that is a cool extra feature. Or French. I have a dog that does fully bilingual in French and English. and I'm learning. Sean is fluent French, 15 years, and I know things that I cannot say on here. Okay.
Nice.
But I board the dogs.
Yeah.
They're French, and I'm learning all this French. So I said, Sean, what have you been doing? I could be fluent French by now. I'm learning more from the dogs than from you.
Thanks, Sean. It's amazing that the first thing you said was, I can say things in French that I can't see on here. That's where us humans go. It's like, teach me Russian, but teach me the foul stuff first.
Okay. Little, not business related, but when we first met back in the day, meet the family, etc. He said, say this. We're like family dinner. And I thought it was like something so nice. I cannot repeat it out loud. And I said, like, coming in here, like, so not like naive, but like I knew French. So I said the thing at the thing, and they all, I'm like, what? And his brother was like, oh, I can't believe you said that out loud. They totally set me up. But I'm still around.
Loving it, right?
Yeah. Oh, loving it. Everybody loved it. But I'm like, anyways, so that's what happened. Let me just
drop this F-bomb in French and be spectacular when I do it. You're waiting for like an applause.
Yeah. I was like so proud of myself that I said it. And I even, it sounds horrible to admit, I practiced it to like be like, I want to show my initiative in this family.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta meet this Sean one day. Just give him a high five.
Yeah, you do. You should meet him one day.
So this is awesome. Let me just ask you before we get into you. I mean, the answer seems so obvious for me, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Why do this, Angie? Why? Like, if you were 17, it'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this for a moment. But this is a career. You're taking this seriously, and you're booked, and you've had clients for years now. This is no joke. Why do it?
That's a good question. I mean, I can go like a background kind of. Like, I've always had a huge passion for animals, period. You know, I was the girl who saves the turtles, still am. You know, cats before I was allergic to cats, because I am now. You know, saving them off the road. They'd end up in the bathtub, and my parents were like, where did you get this animal? Why is it in my house? That type of story. I was that person, and I am that person still. So I've always had sorry?
As a young kid, you were just drawn to them?
Oh, dogs, like people would be around, you know, children or babies and freaking out. And the second you brought a puppy or anything, I would like nothing else is existing but the dog. Like, let me take the dog. I'll bathe the dog. Like from a very young age, I was like, give me the dog. So I've always had that passion for animals. So much so that when I finished my schooling, my goal at the beginning was to do the police canine unit. That was like my entire goal from the beginning, was to do policing and work my way up to be able to be a canine handler within the police. So that it's like a weird trajectory there. But yeah, so and then I finished high school and I got a placement at RVH, actually, like a little placement. It wasn't anything crazy. And I was working with like the security team, business development, that type of thing. And I was so excited for that placement. I'm like, I'm going to be the coolest, nicest cop ever. And then I worked there for a little bit. And big wake up call. I had already registered the police program. Everything was like locked. And I can't do blood. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like blood, like in general.
Like queasy around blood? Is that why? It turns your stomach?
No, like more than that.
Okay.
So like I did, you know, my first call was like, they wanted to show me like stuff, the hot scenes in the emergency room. That was like what I was there for, right? Not just the parking. I was doing like the parking girl. Actually, a girl still works there that I used to be with way back then. And I was like the parking girl, like, you can't park here in the roundabout. Like, get out of here with my little parking pants on, you know, the little security outfit.
Parking pants.
Thought I was hot shit, yeah. Little parking girl. And then they paged me one day. Angie, trauma room number, whatever, we need your help. And I was like, you know, like the movie, like, I'm going to go there. Motion. This is my moment to show you guys that I'm serious. Like, I can. And the blood. Sorry if anybody doesn't like blood, but it was like my eye opener of literally my entire career path. I was like, how can I be a police officer? And I can't show up at a car accident or something like that and then pass out. Like the nurses had to help me. Meanwhile, the poor patient was there like, hello.
Sorry, guys, I'm just bleeding out here. Yeah, we'll get to you in a second. We got to deal with Angie.
But I'm very stubborn and I'm very determined, probably to a detriment sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway. So I finished the whole police program in Aurelia, did all the things. I had like interviews and stuff. And it just started like really hitting me the more that I became closer and closer and closer. And you know, that gut feeling that you have?
Yeah.
I just sunk in like a ton of bricks all of a sudden. I'm like, I really don't. And if I felt like I didn't want to waste people's time either, you know, it's like a serious thing you're doing, you know, like the police college and stuff. So I kind of changed my trajectory, worked at a few other jobs. And then I thought of how do I do the legal field, potentially joining it with the animal field without particularly seeing blood in person. So I went and I became a licensed paralegal. So yeah, I did the schooling for that. And then I wrote my license with the Law Society of Ontario. And I got to read reports and see videos, but I wasn't there. And I can handle that much better, apparently. So I'm still, you know, licensed paralegal and all that. But that's how I kind of changed my trajectory from the policing to the paralegal. And with all that being said, animal law, especially where we live, Barrie area, is very few and far between. Like there's bylaw charges and all that stuff. But in order to create a full business strictly helping animals specifically is not impossible, because there is quite a few firms, but they're all in Toronto. So I really had to think, am I happy where I am at my last job in a law office, you know, Monday to Friday, going to court, doing things like this, driving a lot. Mind you, I drive way more now. But I just kind of had that like moment of like, I like to do this stuff, but it's not in the field that I'd like to do it in, like traffic tickets, you know, things like that. And I kind of just thought of this business, to be honest. I was like, how do I work with animals, use some of the experiences that I have now, and kind of do what I like to do
and get paid?
Like turn to be your own boss. Like it sounds a lot cooler than what it is, maybe, but I really
in our heads. Yeah,
in your head, you're like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Like, you didn't want that, but that's how I geared it down. So I left that place and I started this 5 years ago immediately. Like I got everything ready, launched it, Facebook, did everything. I had it all ready and I launched it all in one day. And I posted like the website, I already did it. Like everything was all ready to go, registered, the whole 9 yards. I did it all behind the scenes. I took all the courses at Canine Foundations that I could get my hands on. I met some great people along the way who gave me some advice, and I keep in contact with a lot of them now. The dog community is amazing, by the way.
Great human beings.
Oh, great human beings. So, you know, caring, considerate. It's not a competition. Like we all generally want to see everybody succeed. So that's how I started.
A lot of love out there. I love it. I love it, Angie. I love what you do. I love that you've made this your own, from working in police to paralegal to just saying, F it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build my own thing. And the high quality, at least from my interpretation of it, the way you've presented it is, again, this is not just some weekend thing. This is a professional service. We're going to take care of your animals. And I love it. Let's talk about you a little bit. What do you want to talk about?
I'm like, wait a minute. That's a broad thing. Like, what about me? I don't know.
Let's talk about what puts a smile on your face first, outside of your business. A lot of entrepreneurs, it's only entrepreneurs that come on here, right? We're trying to help small businesses. What do you like to do for fun? Oh, I love my job. And I'll often say this, like, That's awesome. Most people don't. Count yourself
I know.
lucky, but there's more to life than our work.
There is. And I mean,
What outside of it puts a smile on your face, Angie? You
well,
like to skydive? You like to wrestle grizzly bears?
Kind of.
Binge
No.
watch Netflix? You travel the
Okay,
world?
don't even get me going on Netflix stuff, like the reality series. It's so bad that it's so good. Like you can't look away. Don't judge me, people. I am a huge Young and the Restless fan. Okay.
Wow. Is that still on?
Oh, it is on and it is flying. I've watched it ever since I was young with my Nana. My Nana and I are best friends still. Luckily, she's still here. Just turned 87.
Woo!
And
nice
I
job,
still
Nana.
Yeah, woo, Nana. She's like my best friend, honestly. We're so tight. And I still remember as a kid hearing the Young and the Restless music in the background. It was like 3:30.
40 years or something.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, is it 40 or 60? I don't even know.
60.
I don't know. 50. I don't know, something like that. They just had their big anniversary. So yeah, and I don't honestly watch a lot of TV. I don't have time for it. I like to be outside, but the one show that is regimented and recorded is Young and the Restless.
YNR, baby.
YNR. But yes, other than that, I do I walk a lot for my job, but I really do enjoy walking with the dogs, even a walk without dogs, because I do it for a living. Just to be by yourself is so freeing. And you keep the phone at home.
I was about to say, what do you do when you walk?
No
Honestly,
phone.
tell us the truth.
Yeah, no music. I have the pods and the things, but people are wild out there. I can't be distracted. I need to hear cars. And with these electric cars, I can't hear you.
So no tech when you go on your personal
I try not to. I really try not to. So I like walking. We have a trailer that we've had it for 5 years. And it was our decompress, because Sean works a lot with his business. I've always worked a lot. We've always worked a lot. And we always found when you're home on the weekend, there's so many things to do. The list is never ending. So we ended up going park to park, got a camper, traveler, park to park. And that's still a lot of work. You got to book the parks. You got to unload, reload. By the time you're done on a Friday night, you're sitting down, you're been up since 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So we found an amazing park that we keep the trailer in, and we kind of just built stuff around it for the last 5 years. So that is what I really enjoy doing, is going there. I also bring dogs there. Puptel Paradise, I call my house. But Puptel Paradise Trailer Edition is very exclusive.
This is a reality show in and of itself. Puptel Paradise Trailer Edition.
The trailer edition. Okay. So we have Puptel Paradise, which is what I call here. And then Puptel Paradise Trailer Edition is very exclusive. Okay. It's your experience away from home. Your dogs, it has to be it is strict, well behaved, good in the car. They can't bark a lot. There's rules also at the place I am. But yeah, they go on little golf cart rides. They go over by the lake. I have a pool that I set up. It's like a little oasis. So that's my relax time. I go there without dogs and with dogs. And
where's that?
On Balsam. Balsam
Okay.
Lake.
So what is that? How long would we drive? It's within an hour?
From my house, it's about 40 minutes, 45 minutes ish.
So that's pretty quick.
And I avoid traffic. I don't have to go through Barrie and hit all that cottage country stuff. So it is a nice drive. It's relaxing. I mean, I drive a lot to go to and from clients, but it is by the time you get there, when you get up north somewhere and you see the water and you immediately
oh yeah, the stillness immediately kicks in your mind. You're yes,
exactly. I'm here. Yeah, that's it. And that's it for me still, even after 5 years. I'm I pull in and I'm okay, can unplug.
We're
slightly.
good. Yeah.
Slightly, yeah. So that's, I don't know. There's other things that I like to do, but I don't know.
So walking, nature for sure. Outside, love to work, love your animals. That's your little slice of heaven for you, Sean.
Yes. And eating. I love to eat food.
Oh yeah, tell us about that a little bit.
Particularly not cooking it. Like I love to cook, but it's like the time management thing. Like I like to do it. But, you know, and I'm vegan. Sean is not vegan, so I get asked that a lot. How do you be vegan and he's not? We do both.
Just a full-blown omnivore.
Oh, he'll eat anything and everything, but he'll also eat all my stuff too. But he's very considerate. Like the barbecue has my side and his side. Like the meat, he did it all on his own. The meat,
so that you're not contaminating, right? Not mixing.
But whatever you choose to eat, I don't care. But I just love food.
How long you been vegan for, without going off too much? Because this can be a podcast in and of itself. But I'm always curious.
Hey, Jeff, if you ever do a vegan podcast.
It won't be me. I'm Mr. Fitness, and I eat a shit ton of meat.
Even just like an awareness thing, and then I'll have all the people that are non-vegan come at me hard.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
polarizing.
I'm not like pushy, and honestly,
you just do your thing.
A lot of people, I know I've said it on here clearly, but if I'm out for dinner, I'm not the one who's like, hello. I just like to have to discreetly.
Got a vegan badge on your blazer. Hey guys,
I always feel bad.
In case you were wondering.
Yeah, I order last. I let everybody do their thing, and then I say to the waiter, like, "Come here," and they're like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I'm complicated." Yeah,
complicated.
Vegan. Yes, don't hate me right now. So I try to be like that about it instead of like, so I'm vegan. Like, you know, I feel like that's how. But yes, without getting distracted, I like to eat food.
Great. I love it. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I look at it this way. You have the right to live your life the way you want to live it. It's your in life. You only get the one. My goal is simply, first off, living your life the way you want it is difficult in and of itself because we're constantly distracted and laziness kicks in and complacency, whatever. So if you're really striving to live the way you want to live, build your own business, travel, do whatever things, just don't hurt anybody from your life being lived the way it is. Ideally, live your life the way you want to live and help other people. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But I dig it. I love it. So let's talk about some hard stuff. Angie, let's talk about, we like to
my water.
Yeah, take a big sip of that awesome jug you got there.
With orange juice in it.
Oh, you got that OJ going.
Yeah, you do like a little bit of orange juice with water and it's less sugary.
Not a splash of a little vodka in there. It is 20 to 7 on a Wednesday. Okay.
Not right now. I'm being cool.
Okay.
Professional. What's in there?
Boring ass water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's the good stuff. So we like to talk about a handful of things on this show. It really is, I say this often, it's an extension of what I'm interested in, right? Like I love business, really love the game of business, love connecting with people. It's writing my signature, human connectors. That's really what I think marketing is. It's like drop all the fanciness, just build relationship with people, let them know how you can help. And one of the things I love about marketing in this day and age, or just growing businesses in this digital age, people expecting more from us. There's this push to be more vulnerable, have more courage, and not just celebrate our wins, but our failures or our challenges as well. Like we were talking about in the pre-show, is that seems to be more accepted nowadays. And it's certainly worked very well in my life. I do addiction counseling on the weekend. It's my kind of way to connect on a deeper level and give back to the community that was very much present in my own life, family's life, friends' life, injuries, painkillers. Like it seems to be more of a thing these days than ever before, or maybe we just hear about it more. So, that was
that's interesting.
That was a little over 10 years for me, busted both my legs, and it just went that road and developed some skills. So those are very deep conversations, and the most rewarding by far are when we get into the nitty-gritty, the rawness of being a human. As being a human ain't for the faint of heart. The
struggle is real.
Yeah. And there's a lot of value there. It's like when I'm learning from somebody and they share, these are the hardest pain points in my life, but had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Through challenge, we are given the opportunity to grow. I think it is a choice. It doesn't just happen. So
you're wise. Let me tell you. Like
all right here.
for a Wednesday,
I
I
inked it
feel
all
like,
so that I have the good talking points.
oh my God, I have my Nana's handwriting. Love you more.
Nana.
Nana.
Nana
Yes.
Mcmillin. So I love to unpack those things as much as somebody's comfortable with. It's like, if somebody, from what I've learned in my 37 years, if somebody is living a great life and I can look at them and I can see those qualities, those character traits, those admirable qualities, I know they've gotten their ass kicked somewhere along the line. There's no way they got to this dope existence on a silver platter. So we love to ask the guests on the show any hardships that you've been through, trials, tests, lessons of life that probably sucked in the moment. All the hard things that I went through didn't feel good in the moment. But when I look back in hindsight, there's no way I would regret that or remove that ingredient from the recipe that has become me now, because it's led me to living the life I live and enjoy today. Anything that comes to mind?
The list.
Yeah, right. I get the same answer every time. Where do I start? The big one.
One thing, you just hit on it with yourself, like with injuries and stuff like that. It made me immediately think of me. So a lot of people know, but like a lot of people might not, because it's not like I go out and say, hey, but I've had 2 car accidents. One was 2015, not at fault for the record. Bad accident. I recovered somewhat well. It was a rear end and I had a head injury and a back injury. So I had to pivot with that, your fitness, used to running every day, working out. It's like that type of stuff really messes with you, not only physically, but mentally. So that one I had to, pivot my lifestyle to go around. And then when I've been doing this job for the last 5 years, in 2020, so I was only a couple years in. Actually, I started in 2019. So 2020, I was leaving a client's house, actually near Sandy Cove in Innisfil. And I got into a car accident, not at fault. And that one, still with me now. Really bad concussion. I still have the concussion. These actually aren't for reading. This is just for the blue light in the screen. Like, I've already loaded up on a couple Advil and my stuff just to be able to talk and like stare and focus for this long. Not many people know, because I'm like, that business owner life.
You wear it well. That's not easy. For real.
No, it is not. That one really shook me to the core, because not only did I have a really bad head injury, I also like the neck and so it affects, not only am I walking a bajillion kilometers a day, I'm driving all the time. So I was scared to keep driving. Like, when you get into an accident, you're like, oh my God, it really shakes you. So it made me think, like, what if I can't do the job? What if I can't walk? What if I can't, drive for a certain period of time? And the fact that it's 2024 and I'm still dealing with the concussion aspect, like the traumatic brain injury is what I was told I have. Sounds too scary. I prefer concussion.
Sure.
So it's anything from lights triggers. When I drive at night, I wear yellow glasses. Like, I remember going before I moved here to and from clients at night. I had like not nursing, but like nurse clients. They work shift work. So all my shift work clients back then, before I moved here, I worked all the time, Jeff, day or night. I had nurses, they start at 7 p.m., finish at 7 a.m. So I was at their house at 1 a.m. to let their dog out, so they didn't have to wait, because they couldn't find any dog walkers to come at 1, 2 in the morning. So I'd leave at 2 in the morning. Well, Sean, again, I'm like, can you drive me? Because the headlights from my concussion, it was too bad. So you really had to pivot, and it's really like, I could go on and on and on. Yeah, that could be a whole podcast on injury on its own. Luckily, it could have been way worse, but it's still a huge struggle of mine to this day. Like, spending time on your phone, like businesses, any person who has their own business knows you have to spend a lot of time on the computer, your phone, your scheduling, even just making like an Instagram post, you have to like edit, type words, do the video. By the time I do one post, my head is throbbing, like really bad. So anybody want to help me on my Instagram post? Not just because of that, because there's so many creative people out there. I'm like, you are smart for that.
We've had tons of them on the show. I mean, if you're serious, we could send them.
I am serious. Hook me up. I would love to do that a little bit more. But
Julia Walsh, if you're listening, there you go. That's why you want to be connected with us.
I'm interested in that. You know, that stuff is time consuming on its own, and not that I don't.
We can help with that.
Yeah, I love that type of stuff. I just, you try that calendar. Priorities.
That's it.
Calling me out right now, Jeff.
Well, for all business owners, it's like, I got my important, not urgent, urgent, and important, not important, not urgent. Box these things up, and I find myself going towards those not important, not urgent things because they're easier and they're constantly coming at me. But making that decision to focus on the important and urgent. First off, thank you for sharing that, because that's no easy thing. I never wish these things upon anybody. Like, I do not wish that you got in that accident or that somebody got hurt or that I busted my legs. But I will tell you, it changed my life drastically for the better. What do you think developed from that? Like, how has that changed you?
I mean, honestly, just based off of my injuries alone, how it happened, what the accident looked like, number one. It was like, I should really be counting my lucky stars right now. It could have been really bad. I hate that saying, it could have been worse, because it kind of diminishes what you're going through currently sometimes, but it really could have. And it made me kind of like, life is now type thing.
Grateful.
Like that morning when I can still see it, leaving that client's house, going through that light, you're just going to the next one. You're not thinking, oh, it could have ended there. Like at that precise time, it could have been over potentially, or really bad. So it makes you reconsider how you move forward, or at least for me, I'm like, okay, what is the important things that I'm not doing that I should be doing? Priorities also was a huge one. You focus so much, say, on certain people that don't give it back. I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm done. And I can be like, I'm very nice, but I'm also I like to, the big hug. Come on in here, Angie, come on in. Oh, I always say, how's your day? But you don't always get it in return.
Sure.
So it made me reevaluate certain friendships, certain relationships, valuing what I have, not only as a business more, but like in general. Where should I be dumping my time to? It sounds big and dramatic, but it really did. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, should I focus more on this stuff that actually matters? So then I kind of created, in the long run, it created more boundaries actually, where instead of being like, yes, 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 to anything and everything, I was like, no, like, I'm not comfortable doing this, but I'm comfortable doing this, personal or business related. So I kind of restructured my boundaries to make it more of what makes me happier. And I should be focusing time on these things, especially because I'm in so much pain all the time. I don't have time to be putting stuff and energy, literal physical energy, into things that don't matter anymore. They used to matter, or I thought they mattered, but they don't. These are the things that matter, like Nana.
Maybe one of the greatest lessons or perspective a human can focus on. I mean, I'm not just saying that. When you have a brush up against death, is what we talk about in the clinic, because it could have been.
You never know.
You are now given the opportunity to reevaluate your existence and be like, holy shit, I'm a human and life is very fragile. And there are many things outside of my control that could end it. It could be a meteor, it could be a storm, it could be a car accident. It could happen at any moment. The first two things I have on my arm is the amount of minutes in a day. Every day you wake up, you get gifted with these minutes in your life account, if you will. What are you going to do with them? And then the second one is to remind myself, remember, you will die. One day, it will happen. I don't know when. But it's like, it could be tomorrow. So how are we going to live today? And that changed my life, those two things alone. And that wouldn't have come my way had I not gone through those injuries. So I think that's an amazing
it is. It's and then
results from your incident.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if I didn't have that, as sucky as it is, can I say shitty on here? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you just said it.
Oh, okay. It's like you see those people on TV. Can I say this? But they already said it. I'm one of those now. But yes, it's like you don't want it to happen. But honestly, if it never did, there's a lot of things that I would still look at differently. Whereas now I'm glad that I have that certain perspective, even still going through the physicalness of it to this day. Like it affects everything. Like I haven't even been in Sean's truck for 4 years because it's too bumpy, the roads. So it's like everything down to the little itty bitty details that no one would think about. I'm still like more thankful. It's like, well, now I can drive you. Or like the dogs come in my car and, you know, even before I use seatbelts for dogs, pet taxi, I'm like, holy cow, like, thank God I didn't have animals in the car. Like, so I'm super pet safety oriented. Like anybody who watches this that has a pet, please, for the love of whatever, put your animal in a seatbelt. Please. Yeah, this is one thing, thankfully, I just thought of. I wrote it down somewhere, you know, in the notes. Pet car safety. If the paramedics said to me that day, if you would have had a dog in here, they'd be dead. Period. It either would have flown out the windshield, it would have smoked the seat, it would have done something. Because you know how you see people that are driving and the dog's head sticking out of the driver's side and they look so cute, like Scruffy is like
That's super dangerous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get one rear end there, that dog's flying out the window and it's gone. Yeah. Or like, you know, people in car accidents that unfortunately the dog flies out and they're missing and they may never find them.
Yeah.
And so it's so important for pet seatbelt safety. And anyways, get a seatbelt for your dogs or cats. You can put them in a little carrier in your thing instead of, you know, some people just tie the leash around the seatbelt and the cats actually ping pong back around. But you can get pet carriers for your car. You can even go as hardcore as like custom crates for your vehicle. They're very expensive, but they are accident specifically made for the back of the vehicle. So
yeah, great
pet
tips.
safety in a vehicle for sure.
Well, there you heard it, people. Pet safety in all seriousness, you know, take care of them. I appreciate you sharing that. It's a big thing for me. It seems to be a prerequisite for most of us humans to really understand how valuable our life is, our existence is, that we were lucky enough to be chosen to live somehow. I don't know how it happened. I don't know the picking poll, how I got here, but I do know that it's going to come to an end one day. Yes. And I want to make the most of it, have great relationships with people, learn a lot of shit, and pet some pugs along the way. So that was a fantastic share. I really appreciate that. But before we wrap, Angie, we need to know how to get a hold of Angie's Pawsitive Pet Services. Let's talk about that first. What's the best way to do it?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are busy. Like phone calls are always great, voicemails, but you know, I think I even have it in my voicemail message. You can feel free to send me a text message. And texting, you know, you can send me all the info. I have like a written thing that I send people to ask questions and stuff. So texting is great. I do phone calls as well. I have Facebook, Instagram. My website is Angie's Pawsitive Pet Services.ca. I always want to say .com. It's not .com. It's .ca. So any of those, but social media, you know, you get all these pop-ups and advertisements. So I don't really find Facebook, for me personally, Facebook and Instagram messages like the most reliable source. Like if you have an immediate need or like an actual request, please call or text or send a website. On my website at the bottom, there's a submission form that you can fill out and that gets directed right to my business email. Just like, you know, Facebook and Instagram, they have all these scam posts that come up and it filters. Sure. So what if your message goes all the way down to the bottom and I miss it? And I don't like that. So any of those are good.
And what are your social media profiles? Facebook, Instagram, what are they called?
Angie's Pawsitive Pet Services, I guess. Yeah, that's what there are on Facebook and Instagram. Angie's Pawsitive Pet Services. And you have all the info on there. They have direct links to my website as well, so you can check out pictures. I'm also a member of the Barrie Chamber of Commerce.
Really?
Yes.
Are
Barrie
you coming
Chamber
to our...
Hang on, I won an award. Can you see it?
Where is it?
Right there. I won.
Hell yeah.
For a Visionary of the Year last year.
So why am I not seeing you at the chamber events? We're a big deal at the chamber. Okay, we're there all the time.
You want to know the struggle with that is when I'm boarding, I do my walks for a certain period of time during the weekdays, and then I'm immediately home to do, because I don't like being gone long, immediately home for the boarding dogs. And because I live out of town, like those meetings are always at 5. So if I have a stretch where I have no dogs here, I can go. But luckily, there's not too many stretches. So I really want to go. There's some great people there, especially other pet businesses that I know personally. And they're like, where are you? But actually, one thing, I'm on the Barrie Travel Tourism page. They actually created, you know how it's like hotels, travel, etc. I worked with them for a little bit, and they created a very separate category specifically for pet services. And I'm the first business on the Barrie Travel Tourism website strictly under pet hotels. They created the pet hotel category, and I'm the first one on it. So I worked with them for a bit. Love them there. Boom. One person specifically that I know really well really helped me out with that. So you can find me on the Travel Tourism website. And yeah, there's something else I'm part of. Oh, and you can find me at the Bradford Greenhouse Barrie Women's Show for the 2nd year in a row. I have a booth coming up in January.
Amazing.
Again.
Amazing. Yeah. We have networking events every month for entrepreneurs. Great. Usually 80 to 100 people or so.
Oh my God.
Great way to network, different events or different themes, privates, all kinds of stuff. And we host them at different locations, but the one in August is at Athletic Culture for the Barrie Chamber. You should come.
Yes,
but
we'll get the details.
Pardon me?
I'll get the details from you.
I'll send it over. This has been great, Angie. People, listen, you love your pets. If you need to take care of them and you can't do it all on your own, give Angie a call, talk to her, see how she can help, whether it's walking, feeding, taxiing, boarding. We love our pets. Yes. Let's take care of them. I know you all know that, but now you have another option. And look at what she's wearing. Look at her background. Look at that personality. Fantastic. I just muted out the only word I can't say. You can't say the F word on here, so I just went, can't say it. Fantastic. You've been great, Angie. I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I don't know, it's been fun. This is a fun Wednesday.
I think so. It's 10 after 7 for crying out loud. Who does this shit?
Who does this? I know. There's no wine involved right now, and I'm having fun.
Water. Well, that's a big win for us. But I'm sure we will talk many, many times after this. Until then, you have a great evening.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.